investigate.
Making sense of an air show disaster. Thousands watched as a former military plane took off, made a turn, then crashed to the ground.
You could hear like everybody saying, "Oh my God, oh my God."
Slamming right into a home and catching several others on fire.
What looked like a giant ball of flame.
Evidence of the disaster billowed into the air.
The whole sky was pretty much black.
A pilot killed, a neighborhood evacuated, and the air show canceled. Team coverage of the stunning turn of events, first on Fox.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hillary Hutchison.
And I'm Kevin Kowari. First on Fox, more than 5 hours after a plane crashed into a neighborhood, investigators remain on scene. In fact, we're told they just pulled the body of the pilot out of the wreckage. That pilot died after taking off from the Hillsborough airport around 4:25 this afternoon. The plane circled around, then went down in a neighborhood, and amazingly, no one on the ground was hurt. We have team coverage of the air show disaster beginning tonight with KPTV's Deborah Gill live in Hillsborough.
Kevin, a car labeled FAA has just pulled out from behind this crime scene tape. NTSB, we understand their investigators are on their way. Still here tonight, Hillsborough police to make sure the area is secure, and of course fire crews remain to make sure any hot sparks from that house cannot flare up again. What led to all this tonight will stay in the minds of witnesses for a long time.
You could hear like everybody saying, "Oh my God, like what happened?" And everybody running over there. And
this afternoon at about 4:30, disaster struck the Oregon International Air Show for the first time in its 19-year history. Take a look at this home video of the jet, a Blue English Hawker Hunter, as it leaves the airport, then turns but never quite gains altitude and then disappears behind the trees.
There was no flame, no fire, no smoke. He was completely tipped on his right side, so he was perpendicular to the ground, and just coming in over the treetops, just basically brushing, not quite touching, but nearly touching the treetops.
Officials say the jet, which was part of the ground display of planes at the air show, was not scheduled for any air maneuvers. They tell us the show was nearly over and the plane was taking off to go back to its home base in Southern California when something went terribly wrong.
Like a huge jet turned right over that house, and we hear the engine shut off, and like 10 seconds of like nothing, and then all of a sudden we hear a huge explosion, smoke everywhere.
Witnesses say there were several explosions as the jet hit a house. 3 other houses were damaged by the fire. You can see from Air 12 the jet crashed into the house 3 doors down from Kathy Christensen.
We're in the air show flight path anyway, so we're used to a lot of noise, but they're never ever that low. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, dude, pull up. And he crashed in our neighbor's house, 3 houses down.
Only the pilot of the jet died. No one on the ground, even those close by, were hurt.
I didn't have time to even think about it. I had like a half a second to just be astonished, and then it was over.
Now, coming up tonight at 10:45, we will give you an up-close look at the actual crash scene as investigators are about to let us beyond this police tape to get an up-close look, and we'll bring that to you at 10:45. For now, reporting live in Hillsborough, Deborah Gill, the 10 o'clock news.
And we know tonight that the owner of that plane is an experienced pilot and instructor. And tonight, the organizers of the air show say Robert Guilford was in town for the event. The 73-year-old man lives in Southern California. KPTV's Jim Hyde joins us now live with more on the man and his plane.
Robert Guilford had 44 years experience flying all kinds of aircraft and was licensed as an instructor in his 1951 Hunter Hawker swept-wing fighter. This is a picture of Robert Guilford with the plane. It wasn't a performer at the air show today, but was out at the airport for people to see. Then just before 4:30 this afternoon, the pilot filled the tanks for a flight home to Southern California. Once in the air, it crashed a mile from the airport. The federal investigators at the scene will not confirm the name of the pilot who died in the crash. Presumably it was Robert Guilford. He was at the air show today. Guilford is an expert in aviation law with degrees from Harvard Law School, then a commercial pilot and instructor's license. He's also capable and experienced to train and certify pilots in a variety of vintage fighter planes. Robert Guilford has been flying since 1961. Agents from the Federal Aviation Administration are in the scene, or at the scene in control tonight. They have yet to confirm the name of the pilot. Reporting live in News Control, Jim Hyde, the 10 o'clock news.
And now here's a little bit more about the actual plane. It was a 1951 Hawker Hunter retired from Swiss military service. And as Jim just told us, the plane was completely restored and owned by California attorney Robert Guilford. Hawker Hunters are British jet fighter aircrafts from the 1950s and 60s. The Hunters served for many years with the Royal Air Force, and they were widely exported, serving with 19 different air forces. A total of 1,927 hunters were made.
Now, as we've been saying, amazingly, no one on the ground was hurt during the crash. But tonight, those whose homes were damaged by the plane are still shaken. Originally, police blocked off a large section of the Hillsborough neighborhood to make sure everyone was okay. But now that the situation is under control, most everyone is back at home, except those whose homes were damaged by the crash. KPTV's David Wilson joins us live from the scene with more. Dave?
Yeah, the American Red Cross is on scene here tonight, along with chaplains and mental health counselors, trying to help this neighborhood come to terms with the disaster. Tonight, the crisis in this Hillsborough neighborhood is bringing people together.
We're a close neighborhood, and everybody knows most of the people in the neighborhood. So
Diane Ross says when the plane crashed into her neighbor Donna Reynolds' home, everyone on the street feared the worst.
we were most concerned, and then once we found out that she wasn't there, then we were all relieved.
Fortunately, Reynolds wasn't home at the time of the crash, but another couple living right next door was.
Her husband was home from work for lunch, and so I think they just got out just in time.
Everybody's really shaken up. Everybody's really shaken up. Even the neighbors are shaken up. People were running scared.
Melissa Olmstead with the American Red Cross says while no one was killed on the ground, the crash is nonetheless devastating. People are trying to cope with the loss of property, how close they came to losing their lives. Families are without homes tonight. The Red Cross is offering up hotels to them. We're live in Hillsborough tonight. David Wilson, the 10 o'clock news.
And since the air show disaster happened in front of thousands of people, portions of it were caught on camera. Just take a look at some of the pictures sent in to us here at Fox 12. From the beginning, the jet made for quite the sight. A viewer captured the Hawker Hunter jet in the early moments of takeoff. Moments later, people got pictures of it having problems. Then people in a neighborhood took these shots of the fiery crash site, including several burning homes, as you can see. And on the scene, emergency crews were quick to respond, bringing the fire under control before it could spread. We do invite you to visit our website and send in your pictures of the air show disaster. You can also access more coverage, including a slideshow and video of the crash.
Well, people driving by or in the area also rushed to help. In fact, a National Guardsman jumped into the action while on his way home. KPTV's Jamie Wilson continues our team coverage tonight with that story.
Well, right behind me here, you can see that police are still guarding the east side of this crash scene after dozens of officers and firefighters responded within just minutes of impact. But the very first responder to this crash was actually a local dad on his way home for his daughter's birthday.
And so I'm driving along 55th and I'm watching the airplane come along and it's just dead silent.
Tonight, specialist Eric Tucker remembers the exact moment he had to jump back into his role as a public servant. It was just before 4:30 when Eric was driving home from National Guard training, so he was off duty. But that is when he saw the plane go down.
Just like 9/11, you're sitting there watching it and it looks like something from a movie. I couldn't believe this was happening, but I had to take some kind of action.
With just a couple of turns, Eric believes he arrived within 30 seconds of the crash. Immediately, he tried to find out if anyone was inside the demolished house. He called 911 and he started directing traffic away from the fire. People listened. Eric thinks because he was in uniform, but he also admits it was all he could do to stay calm.
I was just running around telling people, get away. There's flames that could, hurt you. Get away.
When police arrived, Eric helped them go door to door and evacuate nearby homes. And he says it was all just instinct as a guardsman and as himself.
Maybe it's a father mentality in me. I have 3 kids, and if somebody's hurt, if one of my kids is hurt, I know I have to help. And that's what I did, is I went to where they could use me.
And without even planning it or communicating, Eric says that his National Guard sergeant also responded to the plane crash scene without being asked. Live in Hillsborough tonight, Jamie Wilson, the 10 o'clock news.
Some background information now about the Oregon International Air Show itself. This marks the 19th year for the air show, and a spokesperson says this is the first death in the show's history. The air show is one of the largest events in Washington County. It draws an average of 65,000 people to Hillsborough each summer. During its 19-year history, the air show has donated more than $834,000 to the community. The air show is billed as a fun and safe family event. And stay with Fox 12 for continuing coverage of the air show disaster. We will have the latest updates for you tomorrow on Good Day Oregon and tomorrow night on the 10 o'clock news. Also, we will continue to cover This later on in the Fox 12 Final Cut, and of course you can get updates and pictures on our website, kptv.com.
And time now for First Weather with Drew Jackson. Drew, it's such a beautiful day out there. Is there any chance that the weather was a factor at all in today's air show disaster?
Well, that's the National Transportation Safety Board is going to investigate here in the coming days, but from my perspective, I seriously doubt that weather played a role because it was just gorgeous out there today. 86 degrees at 4 o'clock at the Hillsborough Airport and just very light winds, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Completely clear sunny skies too, so really you couldn't have asked for a better weather day out at the air show today. High temperatures around the rest of the metro area, anywhere from 83 in Scappoose to 87 at Hillsborough today, 85 officially at PDX. Now the all-time record high at the Portland Airport ever is 107 degrees, set back a couple times, but most recently 1981. There's a reason I bring this up tonight. We've got a huge heat wave that looks to be coming. More on all that a little bit later on.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
Refusing to leave. The military is trying to get Americans out of the Middle East, but officials say most don't want to go.
Being late is about to cost you even more. Portland's parking fines are going up, and we have the details.
Plus, is your drinking water safe? Why people in one Portland neighborhood have fears about what's coming out of the faucet.
And more amazing home video as witnesses roll on a fiery plane crash in Hillsborough.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local. Accidents are piling up on this dangerous curve, according to neighbors.
Still have nightmares about it.
Why the county is not taking action to make it safer. Good Day, Oregon, tomorrow at 5.
July is Commercial Truck Month at Dix McKenzie Ford. Take advantage of huge savings on the Ford F-Series, the full-size truck leader for 28 consecutive years. Work-ready trucks come with Ford rack and bin storage package. Plus, get up to $1,200 in upfit reimbursement. Or choose the Ford Econoline, the only full-size vans available in gas or diesel. You just got to know where to go for Commercial Truck Month. That's Dix McKenzie Ford in Hillsborough. Or see us on the web at mckenzieford.com or call 1-800-SHOP-FORD.
You just got to know where to go.
I've been a waitress for 40 years to earn a decent living for my daughter and myself. My doctor told me I had a smoker's tumor, and therefore I'm dying. I never smoked a day in my life. I never smoked. The air was blue where I worked, and I'm dying of lung cancer from secondhand smoke.
A local store owner says he caught 2 robbery suspects red-handed. We'll tell you what he did when he found them coming up on the 10 o'clock news. First, live local.
Over my career, there's one thing that I've learned. Customer service is not about taking care of a customer one time, but about building trust over a lifetime.
That trust is built by taking care of customers quickly, giving them a neat, clean place to do business, offering a wide variety of products to choose from, and backing those products with a no-hassle, on-the-spot warranty.
From the programs we offer to the products we sell, each one making sure that our customers get the most for their tire dollar.
Les Schwab, dedicated to serve.
I get what I want. I go where I please.
It's here and it's big. The Ford Model Year Clearance.
And that works for me. Possibilities.
Escape, Freestyle, Explorer, and Expedition, taking you beyond expectations. Now drive on us with 0% financing, plus we'll pay for your gas until 2007. That's nearly $12 grand in finance savings on a 2006 Expedition Eddie Bauer.
With only 6 chefs left in Hell's Kitchen, the pressure's never been greater.
Oh my God!
Fox Monday. One contestant does the unthinkable, disrespecting Chef Ramsay.
You kidding me?
And there's gonna be hell to pay.
How dare you? Come here, you fat-mouthed little...
Hell's Kitchen, Monday at 8 on Fox 12 Oregon.
5 people are in the hospital tonight after a high-speed crash in northeast Portland. Elizabeth Willis has life-threatening injuries. Police say she was riding with Cesar Villa-Lopez when he drove off from a traffic stop around 1 o'clock this morning at Northeast MLK and Shaver Street. The officer didn't pursue him because she had a ride along with her. Other officers spotted the car but ended their chase after they say Villa-Lopez sped through several red lights. The car then crashed head-on with the pickup truck at MLK and Lombard. Villa-Lopez, Willis, and 3 people from the truck were taken to the hospital. Police say alcohol may have been a factor.
The family of a woman killed in a hit and run is hoping the driver hears their plea tonight. Kimberly Powell died last night from injuries suffered Friday morning while running along a frontage road near Dodson. This afternoon, KPTV's Jim Hyde talked to some of the people closest to her.
What's really hard for us was that she wasn't found until 11 o'clock. And she was moving, trying to survive. And she was laying in the blackberry bushes in severe pain.
The 23-year-old woman was struck by an oncoming car, apparently just moments after beginning her run about 10:15 Friday morning. About 11 o'clock, a couple driving by saw the severely injured woman struggling to crawl out of the blackberry bushes and called for help. Kim Powell died last night at Emmanuel Hospital. Her stepfather says Kim's mother, Janet, cannot get out of bed, but clings to a picture of her eldest daughter. The family's pain is made worse by the knowledge the driver apparently stopped, then drove away.
This can't just be another everyday tragic loss that people see in the paper and go to the next page. This is a human being. This is a girl who had an amazing heart.
What sheriff's detectives don't have is the driver. They do have the passenger side mirror that apparently broke off on impact. Investigators think the vehicle was a car, but say the mirror does not have any name or number on it that tells them what make of car. Her sister and stepfather say she had recently got her GED and was enrolled in community college courses for the fall.
She was blossoming, going from that teenager state to this young woman, and she was just starting to enjoy life.
It was KPTV's Jim Hyde reporting. Well, tonight, 2 people are in the hospital after a motorcycle crash in Canby. Police say the wreck happened when a motorcycle carrying 2 people failed to make it around a sharp corner. These pictures are of the rescue. Life Flight took the driver of the motorcycle to the hospital with head and neck injuries. The driver's passenger hurt her shoulder. A Corvallis woman involved in a hit-and-run crash that left a teenager dead is getting out of prison early. Amy Stack was convicted in 2005 of driving into 18-year-old Robin Jensen as Jensen was riding her bike. Stack waited 3 days to turn herself in. She's now scheduled to be released from prison on August 1st after serving 8 months of a 2-year sentence. After that, she'll be placed in transitional leave for 90 days.
Well, the Vancouver woman who crashed her car into a fire engine on Easter Sunday is going to prison. Shelley Alford was driving drunk with 4 kids in the car when she rammed the engine at a stoplight. None of them were wearing seatbelts, and they all went to the hospital with serious injuries. A judge sentenced Alford last week to prison for 3 years and 7 months. Her kids were given to her parents after the wreck.
One teenager is in the hospital tonight, and another is in jail after police say the 2 broke into a Beaver Creek store, shot at the owner, and the owner shot back. Clackamas County deputies tell us that last night the owners of Clark's General Store heard breaking glass. The owner, Robert Fink, went to investigate armed with a shotgun. He says he told police that he found 2 teenagers breaking into the cash register. Deputies say one teen ran out and Fink stopped the other and told him to empty his pockets. But they say the other teen then returned with a gun, then both started running. Deputies say Fink and a neighbor who also heard the breaking glass chased them, but the teens allegedly fired shots, and then Fink fired back. A 16-year-old boy was hit in his backside with buckshot from Fink's gun and was life-flighted to the hospital. His 18-year-old relative, Jamal Shahadi, was arrested. Neighbors were shocked by the sound of gunfire, sirens, and a helicopter, but they say they totally support Robert Fink's decision.
Yeah, I would have done that, defending my property, especially somebody firing at me first. I would have definitely done the same thing Robert did.
Deputies say the 16-year-old is in fair condition. They also tell us tonight the boys are from Tigard, but they did not say what they were doing in the Beaver Creek area.
Well, starting tomorrow, you really don't want to overstay your welcome in Portland's metered parking spaces. KPTV's Marilyn Deutsch explains.
When you rent that minute-by-minute, hour-by-hour on-street space in the city, do not let that meter expire. Monday, your penance for taking advantage of that parking privilege jumps from $16 to $24 a ticket.
Oh, wow.
The city says that hike still keeps Portland's parking tickets below the average of comparable cities such as Seattle, Tucson, and San Francisco. But then again, it depends which cities you compare Portland to.
And yeah, it's $7 for a fine in Vancouver just across the bridge.
Well, that's going to be $24 here in Portland starting tomorrow.
That's kind of excessive.
The cost of other parking and safety violations going up even more Monday, $10 to $30 a ticket. City fathers saying too many drivers disregarding loading zones, intersections, and bike lanes. Those parking violations often putting pedestrians and bicyclists in harm's way.
Well, if it's going to make it safer for bicycle riders, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I still don't think that blending bicycle riders with traffic is very smart to begin with.
The new fines are designed to make people pay for their mistakes.
They have the parking meters for a reason. They have parking garages, and if they don't want to follow it, they're going to pay for it.
And that was KPTV's Marilyn Deutsch reporting. This is the first time the city has increased parking fines in the last 6 years. Well, tonight we have continuing coverage of a deadly plane crash in Hillsborough.
We've been covering this all afternoon and into the evening. Coming up, more home video, plus hear from witnesses who watched as the plane plummeted into homes and burst into flames.
And violence heats up in the Middle East. Hear why the U.S. is struggling to get Americans out.
And some good news tonight, at least with the weather. 68 the current temperature outside. Crystal clear sky, gorgeous evening out there. Take a look outside right now. You can see from our Fox Tower camera, not even a whole lot of wind to bounce the camera around. But we've got some real hot weather coming. Details in the 7-day forecast upcoming.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Every car dealer writes ads to make you think they're the best. We do it too. The difference is that at Broadway Toyota, we talk the talk and we walk the walk. And that's why little old Broadway Toyota at the Rose Quarter consistently sells more Toyotas than the mega dealers do, proving that if you really do have the best prices every day, and if you really do treat every customer like they're the only one on your lot, the word gets around. So Portland, if you're even thinking about buying a Toyota, Broadway is the only way. Just get off at the I-5 Rose Quarter exit and head 2 blocks east.
Whether they are walking, running, or riding, Team Subway members are helping local charities and staying fit by participating in community fundraisers. And at many events, Team Subway has provided samples of delicious Subway sandwiches too.
Healthier eating.
Healthier